Now at 9, a firefighter in Allen County goes down because of the heat while battling a fire at the county landfill. Plus, we're going to learn how young people showed up from all over to help beautify a southeast Kansas town. And
Some Carthage hotels are pretty much booked out for Marian Days. I'm Fernanda Silva, and I'll tell you how they're getting ready for the event.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dow Quick. At least one firefighter is down due to the heat as crews battled a fire at the Allen County, Kansas landfill that's southeast of La Harpe. Allen County Sheriff Brian Murphy tells us crews were there from multiple fire departments, including La Harpe and Iola. The fire was extinguished shortly before 4:30 this afternoon. Officials on the scene said they are unsure of the cause. A Southwest Missouri man is behind bars accused of attempting to kidnap a woman. Authorities have arrested 34-year-old Aaron Michael Fryer from Pierce City. He's charged with second-degree assault, third-degree kidnapping, and second-degree endangering the welfare of a child. The 18-year-old victim told officers while she was at work in Monette, a man in a vehicle with a small child in it attempted to kidnap her. The woman says she fled to safety and immediately called police. A judge has sentenced a former Missouri State Highway patrolman found guilty for taking thousands of dollars in cash bribes. Sentenced him to 15 months in prison. Larry Conrad will also perform 100 hours of community service and pay a $20,000 fine. Last year, the former motor vehicle inspector reportedly accepted about $14,000 in bribes over at least 6 months before he was caught. Conrad pleaded guilty to charges in April. Pretty hot out there and breezy. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, another hot day for us today. Temperatures are right around 100 degrees. Once again, official high was 99. Look at our overnight low. We started at 80 during the morning hours. Average high is 91 degrees. Heat advisory in effect. Missouri, Oklahoma, once again Saturday. Excessive heat warning in this magenta color as the humidity is going to be a little bit higher. I've had a few scattered light little showers which have kind of dropped through. One near Girard, one just north of Lamar, one just east of Carthage. Not a lot of moisture with them, but a few raindrops at least that we are seeing out there. And then a little bigger batch out to the northwest along the I-70 corridor. We should get at least some scattered thunderstorms in here as we head into the weekend. All right, still warm, sitting into the upper 80s at this point in time. We're going to look at your weekend forecast here in just a bit.
See you soon. Hotels in Carthage, Missouri are pretty much booked up for Marian Days already. Managers say they expect to be sold out by the beginning of that Vietnamese American Catholic celebration. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
About 2 months ago, Pubakta bought a new investment, a hotel in Carthage, a half a mile from where Marian Days takes place. Expecting to be booked out for the event, he's putting money and time into the place to make sure his guests will enjoy their stay.
It's too much work because of the some room has not been rented for a while, so we have to deep cleanings the rooms and all.
With only a few days to go into the event, he feels like he's running against the clock.
On here, this is my first project. We've been starting the renovations, and hopefully it's all before we can get done the paint and everything before the Marian Days.
Carthage is not the only hotel in the city making final preparations. Quality Inn's manager Lacey Brown is already experienced when it comes to Marian Days.
So during the daytime, they're going to be coming here to take showers and getting food and things like that. So it's just going to be constant traffic.
This hotel usually has a 60% occupancy rate, but during Marian Days, they're expecting to be completely sold out. Because of the high demand of the event, no employees are getting days off.
We have extra towels, extra linen, kind of set aside that we're going to bring out that day to kind of make it easier in laundry because every department's just going to be much busier than normal.
Rita comes to Carthage every Marian Day for the last 40 years. Living in Kansas City, he drives the week before and saves a spot for his tent. He says the people who choose to stay in hotels are usually traveling long distances.
They come from too far away from here, so they don't have the equipment. Look like they have to bring everything, the tent or thing. I think all hotel around here until down to the Highland, maybe something like that, it be gone. No more room, I guess.
In Carthage, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
According to organizers, 40,000 people attended Marian Days last year, and that was the first time the event had been held since the pandemic started. This year's festival starts next Thursday on the grounds of the Congregation of the Mother Co-Redemptrix. The Route 66 Heritage Festival kicked off today in Miami, Oklahoma. That festival celebrates the heritage of the area. Some of today's festivities included live music, lots of that, also food trucks and games. Organizers say it's a great way to get people out to have some fun.
We have so many good people from Miami that are in the music business that we wanted to recognize, and there's a lot of people from Miami who've been successful, and we're trying to let the young kids know that you can come from Miami and be anywhere. You can make it to the biggest place, like Steve Gaines made it with the Leonard Skinner Band from here. Steve Owens won the Heisman Trophy from here. So
that fun resumes tomorrow at 7 a.m. with the Willie Run. Then later there will be a car and bike show, more games, barbecue competition, and lots more music, among other activities. Former President Trump is staying defiant as he faces more charges in the special counsel's classified documents case. The new accusations come as the special counsel ramps up its January 6th investigation, in which Trump has been named as a target. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
Anticipation is building outside the federal courthouse in D.C., where a grand jury has been weighing whether to slap former President Trump with a second federal indictment in the January 6 investigation. Regardless, his legal problems are growing as he faces 3 more charges in the special counsel's probe into his alleged mishandling of classified documents.
Looks like to me is they are trying to find someone to flip on Trump.
Trump is facing 2 more counts of obstruction of justice. Prosecutors say Trump and 2 of his aides, including a new defendant, Carlos de Oliveira, tried to get rid of security footage in Mar-a-Lago. De Oliveira is accused of telling a Trump employee the boss wanted the server deleted and asked, "What are we going to do?" Trump has also been charged with another count of willful retention of national defense information for allegedly showing a military plan of attack to people without security clearances. He has denied possessing that document.
Brett, there was no document.
Several Republicans are rallying to the former president's side. They say the Justice Department is the one guilty of abusing its power.
A weaponized Department of Justice that is functioning like a political arm of Joe Biden's re-election campaign.
The White House says President Biden has never talked with Attorney General Merrick Garland about the DOJ's investigations.
Democrats shouldn't take the bait, need to stay focused on policy.
Despite his legal troubles, Trump is forging ahead with his re-election campaign, with appearances in Iowa and Pennsylvania this weekend. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell plans to serve the rest of the current congressional session in his role as the GOP leader. McConnell's office made the announcement today, 2 days after he froze for about 30 seconds during a news conference. McConnell was back to work yesterday, but the 81-year-old has faced scrutiny over his health this year, starting in March when he suffered a concussion and broken ribs after falling in a Washington hotel. Coming up, we're going to hear from some health experts about how to spot dehydration during this triple-digit heat. New study shows a strong link between drinking soda and obesity among teens. Research published in the JAMA Network Journal surveyed more than 400,000 teens in 107 nations. Researchers found that for every 10% increase in daily sugary soda drink consumption, there was a 3.7% rise in the amount of overweight teens in that area. The heat is here, obviously, to stay at least for a while as temperatures continue reaching the triple digits, and staying hydrating is a must. Fox's Irene Snyder takes us to learn some of the telltale signs we should be on the lookout for to avoid dehydration and an ER visit.
It's miserable and I get migraine headaches, so I try to avoid it as much as possible.
Dizziness, headaches, and nausea, the telltale signs of dehydration.
Some have low blood pressures. They'll tell you, I have a headache, I just feel fatigued.
With 26 days in this record-breaking 110-plus degree weather, it's a problem nurses are seeing more and more. Samia Kadri with Banner Urgent Care says they're giving these IVs filled with saline solution to people experiencing dehydration.
It helps replenish the fluids back into your blood vessels, and hydrate your kidneys, which usually are the organs to suffer.
The heat isn't letting up anytime soon, and that has Kadri worried.
I worry for the public. I mean, this is a really bad heat wave. I've been here 42 years, and this is probably the longest stretch, and it feels hotter this summer.
That's why health officials are asking people to be aware of the warning signs, to drink water, look for shade when possible, and take electrolytes.
Just plenty of water, and of course, in and out of the air condition, so that helps a lot.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later the start of the MIAA football season is only 5 weeks away. We're going to hear from both Pitt State and Missouri Southern about the upcoming season in sports.
Well, of course, it was a scorcher for us today. Temperatures way up there once again, right around 100 during the afternoon hours. It looks pretty good right now. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just southwest of Seneca, Missouri. We need some rain. We've had like 1 or 2 little cells that pop up each day this week, but we haven't had widespread rain. For the month, we've only had 1 1/4 inches, and we're over 10, almost 11 inches below where we should be, which definitely stinks. Heat advisories in effect again tomorrow in the orange. Magenta is excessive heat warnings. Humidity is going to be kind of up there. Temperatures still right now, we're sitting upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Let's go outside. Here's 7th and Rangeline, 87. Still feels like 89. Pressure is pretty steady, 29.98 inches of mercury. And our heat indices, it still feels about 90 degrees across the region. We have had a couple little pop-up thunder showers, not really putting down much in the way of rainfall, but a few little showers, one right on top of Girard. And then we have a little complex of light showers just north of Lamar, another little guy just to the east of Carthage. Besides that, it's pretty quiet here. We do have showers and thunderstorms along I-70. We'll watch this batch that could affect us as we get into the daytime hours on Saturday. But all these are just kind of rotating around the upper level high because it's back across New Mexico. Some of these waves, if you follow the upper level winds, can drop in. Problem is, the upper level high gets closer as we get through the next few days. Now, we could still see some showers rotating in, but this is really going to give us the heat as we go through next week until it starts to break down, which it finally does late in the week. So we're not going to really get much in the way of relief until that point in time. All right, let's go through tonight. We'll stop tomorrow morning near 80. As we go through the morning hours, some isolated thunderstorms will try to pop up in our northern counties, and we may get a few scattered thunderstorms in here by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. They're going to be hit and miss, but a little bit more widespread than what we're seeing now. But look at our temps, high temps, right around 100 degrees. Few scattered thunderstorms tomorrow evening, and then kind of dying once they make it to the I-44 corridor. So very hit and miss north of I-44. Here's Sunday morning, still some scattered showers, few scattered thunderstorms, and a few more trying to pop up again Sunday afternoon. So we are going to have those hit and miss storms. Temperatures again right around 100 degrees on Sunday. Heat indices about 105 tomorrow. Heat indices about 105 on Sunday as well. High temps of 100. We're going to have those afternoon scattered thunderstorms again. Most of those are going to be north of the I-44 corridor. All right, 100 tomorrow, alert day due to the excessive heat warning. 100 on Sunday, 102 on Monday, and then we inch upward, 103, 104, 104, and then finally back into the 90s late next week.
Okay, well, we got to deal with it. Nothing
Not much we can do.
Nowhere to go but through, I guess. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, we're going to take a look at how the heat is impacting the end of summer travel. More than 150 million Americans face dangerous heat conditions heading into the weekend. And while summer travelers are used to storms wreaking havoc, aviation experts say extreme heat can also pose unique challenges in the skies and on the ground. Karen Kafa is in Washington with a look at what passengers need to know.
A heat wave stretching from coast to coast into this weekend.
And even those places that are used to extreme heat have never seen it as hot as it is now for as long as it's been.
And those making a getaway should prepare for air travel disruptions, not just from summer storms, but extreme heat precautions too. Daniel Jacob of the University of North Dakota Aviation Department says the higher the temperatures, the less density in the air.
The aerodynamics behind lift or for an aircraft, the wings to generate lift is that it's dependent on the density of the air.
That means planes need less weight and longer runways for takeoff. Carriers may choose to carry less fuel or drop baggage or reduce passenger load. He says the safety of the ground crew is under consideration as well as they do the heavy lifting to service, fuel, load, and unload planes. Extra safety breaks to keep workers hydrated and cool can also delay flight schedules.
It's obviously going to affect the turnaround time for aircraft because these folks will have to go inside to a cooler place to, cool themselves, get some water, be hydrated.
To beat the heat, try an early morning or late night flight when temperatures are cooler and comply with flight attendant requests to lower window shades and open air vents when a plane is parked at the gate to keep cabins cool.
Boeing is donating nearly $1 million in scholarship funds to attract new pilots from diverse backgrounds. Right now, 95.7% of professional pilots in the U.S. are white, and 90.8% of them are men. Boeing says more than 600,000 new pilots will be needed around the world over the next 2 decades. The scholarship money is going to organizations that target women, Latino, Black, and other minority students. American Airlines is suing a travel website over a cost-saving hack known as Hidden Cities. Hidden Cities, or skip lagging as some call it, involves booking a flight with a layover at your intended destination and then skipping the second leg of the flight. It's used to save money if a connecting flight is cheaper than a direct flight, which sometimes happens. American and other airlines have banned the practice. Now American is suing the travel website Kiwi, alleging its involvement in the Hidden Cities hack. Up next, the West Coast was shaking last weekend because of a mega pop star's raucous fans. Seems Taylor Swift wasn't joking in her hit Shake It Off. There was a whole lot of shaking going on during her shows in Seattle this weekend. A seismologist has determined Swift's shows at Lemon Theater on Saturday and Sunday caused the seismic equivalent of a 2.3 magnitude earthquake, and that is a new record. Wow. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The city of Fort Scott celebrates the grand opening of a new splash pad and sensory park. Plus, some local students walk the stage as they graduate from Freeman's Learning Center. Today concludes the week-long summer camp hosted by Parsons Paint Project. During the night, the students slept in Parsons High School, but all day they were painting smiles all over the community. Here's Jasmine Knight with that story.
This is the 6th year of the Parsons Paint Project. Church youth groups from all across the country come to revitalize Parsons, Kansas. Their main goal is to paint houses and build wheelchair-accessible ramps for the low-income, elderly, or disabled.
There are some good people wanting to help other people. I think that was the biggest eye-opener for even the community, is to see we have 15, 14-year-olders willing to come and paint someone else's house they don't know.
Not only do they come to paint, but the kids also strive to build a relationship with the resident. Some campers invite the resident to devotional or sit and eat lunch with them.
He joined us for devotions, and he's pretty cool.
The campers also learn great life lessons while they're there.
Read devotions more and more and more, and then talk about Jesus and what he's done for us.
Mine is to have a closer relationship with God while doing this, and just getting more into it than I have been.
To always be open to help people if they can't do it themselves.
My favorite part about painting all these houses is getting to help people in need that can't do this work.
I've seen them really start to piece together a lot of things within their own life, just going through this devotion.
And for the residents, it means the world.
It means a lot. I don't have the money to fix my house up or anything, and now that I'm disabled, I can't work to get money to do it, so it means a lot, and it'd be a big help.
So far, this project has left Candace and other homeowners very satisfied. Reporting in Parsons, Jasmine Knight, KOAM News.
Parsons Paint Project revived 19 houses in a span of just 1 week. Amazing. Some local students today walked across the stage to transition into the next phase of their lives. Freeman Health System held their second graduation for their Learning Center. 10 students are in this year's graduating class. The Learning Center was built to care for Freeman and Ozark Center employees' children from infants to 5 years old during the weekday. Freeman officials say the Learning Center is the first stepping stone to the rest of their lives. We pulled aside some kids to ask them how they feel to be graduating.
Happy. Excited. It made me feel special.
Well, you should feel special because you are, and excited too. The 10 graduates start their first day of kindergarten in the fall. The Learning Center offers students ways to grow intellectually, emotionally, and socially. Today, the Splash Pad and Sensory Park had its grand opening in Fort Scott. KOAM's Elise Noe has details.
2, 1, hit the button, guys!
Kids in Fort Scott had some fun in the sun while attending the grand opening of the Splash Pad and Sensory Park.
It's really fun. The favorite thing my favorite thing is being with everyone and seeing everyone have a good time.
The community of Fort Scott came together to bring this park to life with vendors, food trucks, and volunteers. The park was able to open thanks to volunteers raising $310,000.
We wrote and got some really large grants awarded, and then we had just a snowfall of support from the community, businesses, organizations, individuals.
The park was filled with kids jumping for joy, cooling off in the summer heat, and having a good time in their community. But for kids like TJ Lee, this park is more than a way to cool off in the summer.
We've been waiting for this for a long time. When he went in, he's going into 8th grade now, and when he was going into 2nd, they had started trying to get a park like this started.
The wait was most definitely worth it.
Boom, I am ready for this fun.
The importance of sensory parks and accessibility parks are truly something important to the committee and the community of Fort Scott.
Those beautiful children who now have a place, I'm not supposed to, now have a place to come and feel included and be a participant and be able to have fun and enjoy life the way every single kid should.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
Festivities began at 5:30 this evening. Kids were given free snow cones and were able to play all evening in that new inclusive park. It looked like fun, big crowd. But later, we're going to take a look at how AI is continuing to change the workforce and what that could mean for jobs.
Well, of course, it's been hot all week, and our temperature's been hovering right around 100 for the past 4 days, and we're going to do it again as we head into the weekend. Excessive heat warnings in effect, magenta color, and then Oklahoma through southwest Missouri, heat advisory. And then once you get down into northwestern Arkansas, just plain old hot. Temperatures mainly into the mid to upper 90s. Look at this, it's 90 in Fort Scott, it's 84 Independence, Grand Lake 84, it's 82 in Monette. So most of us still very warm, very muggy. Heat indices upper 80s to lower 90s across the region. We have been tracking a few tiny little guys, not big guys, just little guys. One right on top of Girard. We have a little cluster of light showers just north of Lamar. We can track a little farther north into St. Clair County, a little bigger thunderstorm just to the south of Clinton, and then some scattered thunderstorms north of Monette, Mount Vernon, and just east of Carthage. These are only going to last next couple hours, not a big deal, just light showers, but we do have some bigger thunderstorms once you get out across the northern parts of Kansas, and some of those guys may try to get in here tomorrow. We've had a hard time getting rain in due to our big upper level high, which is kind of blocking that pattern up and shoving the jet stream. You can see the brighter colors well to the north. Now, we could get a few waves in here over the next few days, but notice next week how this high gets right on top of us. So we start to heat up more, and then it starts to retrograde back toward the west late next week, which allows us to get into northwest flow and a little bit cooler temperatures, which is going to be nice. All right, let's go through time for you tonight. We are going to get some clouds due to some of those scattered showers. We'll drop back to 78, 79, 80 for a start. Through the morning, heat up, lower 90s once we get to the noon hour. Then once we get into the afternoon, we're going to have to watch for a few scattered thunderstorms trying to pop up in our northern counties. Here's 5:30, 98 in Chanute, 97 in Miami, about 100 in Joplin. As we continue through the evening hours, some scattered thunderstorms. These are going to be north of I-44, but there are going to be some hit and miss storms, and then they kind of fall apart as we get into tomorrow night. Sunday, we'll start the day with a few isolated showers and then a few more trying to pop up in the afternoon. It's not going to be widespread, so I'm only going a 20% chance for rain, meaning I think only 20% of our counties will see any rain. And the farther south you live, the better shot you have to stay dry as we go into the weekend. All right, 100 tomorrow, 100 on Sunday, heat index right around 105. Make sure you drink plenty of water if you are going to be out over the weekend. An alert day due to the excessive heat warning. 100 on Sunday, 102 Monday. So we start to step it up a little bit. 103 on Tuesday, 104 Wednesday, 104 on Thursday, and then chilly 90s.
Ooh.
Moving in late next week.
Oh, get out the parkas.
Chilly 99, 97.
Wow. Mere double digits. Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, football season's approaching quickly. Missouri Southern and Pitt State kick off in just 5 weeks. Plus, Webb City Little League baseball teams preparing for the Midwest Regionals next week in Indianapolis. Brock Baldridge is going to join us with details next in sports.
We are officially 5 weeks away from kickoff to the MIAA football season. Now, Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State coaches had a lot to say what they expect from their teams when they spoke to us at the MIAA Media Day earlier this week.
2022 had a lot of close losses, and I'm excited to see if we've made the jump that we need to so that those close losses turn into close wins and we can flip this thing around.
The Missouri Southern Lions are 8-15 overall since Atiba Bradley took over the program as head coach in 2021. The Lions are scheduled to open their season at home on August 31st, going against one of the top teams in the MIAA, the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats.
I think it's a big-time matchup because it's an opportunity to play football. There's no taking away the accolades and the credit that they get. They're in a great program, but we know that if we win that game, there's still a lot of season left. If we lose that game, there's still a lot of season left. And so our guys aren't necessarily focused to play one opponent, but just excited for the opportunity to compete.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas kick off their season the same night as Missouri Southern. The Gorillas will be at home hosting the Washburn Ichabods as Pitt State head coach Brian Wright enters his 4th season. He's delighted with the group that the Gorillas will be bringing back this fall.
You're certainly going to try to build off our strengths, and for us on offense, like Trey said, it really starts up front for us, and we're excited about the group that's back. I'm excited about the motivation that they have and the improvement that they would like to make in that group, but I thought those guys had an outstanding spring practice period, and I know our strength coach, Matt Summers, speaks so highly of how those guys are working in the weight room this summer, so that excites me.
And both Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State are preparing for their fall football practices as we approach just over a month away before the MIAA football season kicks off. The Webb City 12 and under baseball team is Missouri State champions once again. A week from today, the team will be in Indianapolis playing their first game of the Midwest Regionals with a chance to go to the Little League World Series. Webb City enters the Midwest Regionals winning as the Missouri State Championship last weekend. Well, this week, Webb City gets a week off to practice as they prepare to face Wisconsin next Friday. If Webb City is able to win this tournament, they would advance to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, representing the Midwest. This would be the first team out of Webb City to do so since 2015.
You kind of just show up and you play. You got to tell the kids, hey, people are going to win. The guys that throw strikes get their routine outs and put the ball in play and strike out less. It's one of those things where you don't get to experience it, the rest of your life unless you're 12 years old. So it'd be a really great accomplishment for these kids.
It's been really fun. The games are a lot of fun, especially when we're down and we have to come back. I think it's gonna be a really fun experience. I know some people have told us about it, Cam and Brody. They said it's really fun. I just want to play.
And the MLB trade deadline looms as August 1st is approaching fast. Fans from both the Royals and the Cardinals may see some of their favorite players trade to other ball clubs in the next coming days. The Cardinals began Game 1 of a long homestand last night in a 10-3 loss to the Chicago Cubs. Tonight, St. Louis got off to a 2-0 lead, but they currently trail the Cubs 3-2 in the 8th inning. Royals at home tonight against the Twins. This could possibly, maybe, be the final homestand for players like Salvador Perez or Zach Greinke. We shall see. Royals lead the Twins 3-2 in the 8th inning. Well, if you haven't noticed, a familiar face is joining the Big 12 Conference once again. On Thursday night, the University of Colorado Board of Regents unanimously approved the resolution allowing the University of Colorado to join the Big 12 Conference beginning in the 2024 academic year. Colorado left the conference to join the Pac-12 in 2011. So with that being said, welcome back, Buffaloes.
And welcome back, Prime.
Yeah, Coach Prime is, he's really getting that team on the right track.
Yes, and he's making a lot of headlines doing it. We'll be right back. Artificial intelligence is already having a major impact on the labor force, and several indicators show more drastic changes could be ahead. So, which industries are already being disrupted, and why could women be impacted the most? Cole Higgins has the story.
Is artificial intelligence coming for your job? There are growing signs that AI is already disrupting the global workforce, and experts say it's just the beginning.
There are people who will learn to use AI, and they will take your job because they will become significantly more productive than you will be if you're not able to partner with an AI model.
Goldman Sachs economist predicting 300 million full-time jobs could be affected by the latest wave of AI, which has created platforms like ChatGPT. And a new analysis estimates nearly 80% of women could be disproportionately affected by the adoption of AI. That's compared to 58% of working men, according to research from the University of North Carolina.
The world has changed. These are new tools. You can't fear them. You just have to learn to use them.
All that is already impacting nearly every industry, from art and music, where AI-generated songs are more affordable since there's no producer, composer, or artist to pay.
It's taken away opportunity from songwriters, producers, and artists, right? So the people are trying to feed them, their families.
The manufacturing sector also seen an impact. And then there's fast food, where AI is ready to take your order.
Classic or bacon barbecue mother cruncher.
Places like this Checkers restaurant in Iowa are already using AI for their drive-through window.
Whatever the guest says, it will react to that. It's crazy. And they'll just start a conversation.
Coming up, how a teen in Boston is spending his summer giving back to his community. A Boston area teen is spending his summer raising money for an inclusive playground. He's running an operation he founded that he calls Suds for Swings. He's washing cars to help raise money to convert an existing play area. Ken McLeod has more.
As he worked on a Jeep tonight, Kevin Winchell's mind might have wandered to his upcoming senior season, but his heart is in this summer job.
I wanted to actually do something and make an impact in the community.
So the 18-year-old, who's already doing an internship at a group home and volunteering at Mass General, formed Suds for Swings, washing and detailing sedans for $85 and SUVs for $107, and donating the money to convert this playground behind Peabody's West Elementary School into this inclusive playground welcoming to youngsters with disabilities. The city's Community Preservation Committee is putting up a chunk of money to transform this aging playground, but volunteers are raising the rest, roughly 80 grand, and Kevin's effort might just put them over the top.
That certainly wasn't on my radar at 17, 18. And I just think it's an incredible act of kindness and charity.
He's already invested more than 200 hours in the project, motivated by 2 recent hip surgeries that left him bedridden for a spell, and the desire to get kids away from video games. With 5 weeks to go, he's topped his fundraising goal and doesn't mind extending a challenge.
But as one teen, I've raised $3,000+. So imagine what 10 teens can do.
He says it's his chance to repay Wes Peabody for the upbringing he's received here. Pretty heady stuff for a kid heading into his senior year at a private school that's not even in town. But he contends he's getting as much as he's giving.
20 years from now, who knows where I'll live, but I'll know that I helped build that playground.
It's a charity roadshow for Kevin. He comes to his customers bucket in hand, and his detailing work is drawing rave reviews.
Good to see that in 18-year-olds today, that they still have that work ethic.
But if you'd like to see him tackle your set of wheels, bad news, he's already booked through the summer, and that detail is a pretty good reflection on him.
I suspect a lot of people are willing to pay extra. That is our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of white tiger cubs at a zoo in the Czech Republic. Let's make it a great weekend.